I'll face that way. You can kind of, yes, I'll call everybody to attention, and I'm going to mention it in my notes that Veterans Day. And I'll call for it. Each time I'll say present R. Basically, after everybody's standing up, I'll say veterans present R. And we're going to hold this through the playing and the national anthem and the play. With a seat for 80. And I'm seeing probably at least 60. I have at least 60. In there someplace, we'll follow your lead. Right after tap, you can make the mic and just say, please follow us out. There's plenty of chairs here. You just come up here and sit.
Oh, that's...
It's almost starting time. We got chairs up here. We have plenty of chairs up in the front here. O'clock. 30 seconds. Two, 4, 6, 8. We have over 70 people, including us. We got 80. Good morning. I look out here and I see a field of red, white, and blue. It's just incredible to look out and see that. It's great. You obviously all got the memo. Welcome to this year's Travelers Rest Memorial Day ceremony. Before we begin the formal part of the program, I want to go over a few administrative items. During the ceremony, there will be times that we ask those that are able to stand. At all other times, you may remain seated. The times to stand are the playing of the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, the invocation, and at the very end of the ceremony, taps. Okay, the rest of the time, you'll be seated. Taps will be played on and off during the rest of the ceremony. Stay seated for that. Okay, when in doubt, follow our lead. Okay? We hope that today's ceremony will not only reflect the patriotism and love of country that we all share, but that it'll be inspirational, thought-provoking, and memorable. I have said this before, that that this is not only a ceremony, but a celebration of America. Everything we do here, including the picnic, is what the American Legion so often refers to as Americanism. It's a taste of Americana. Gold Star wife Krista Simpson Anderson, whose Green Beret husband died in Afghanistan, put it this way when she was talking about Memorial Day. They, those that died for the country, would want you to gather with your family and friends and just love each other and celebrate life. That is what they died for. They died for us to live. I want to thank you all for coming out today for the ceremony. I want to thank the TR veterans who helped put on the ceremony. I particularly want to thank Bill, who acquired our new flags. I think they do a lot for the hall. I want to thank Barb and Dan for what they're doing out there before. And they cleaned all the tables. They power washed all the tables for us. Incredible. And they've got the hot dogs going. Also want to thank Kathy and Wolf for donating some condiments and for taking care of, they're going to provide us music during the luncheon. I want to thank my wife, who I take for granted, and all your wives are going, yeah, the husbands, they take us for granted. She'll comes through, takes my bacon out of the fire all the time. She stepped forward when I didn't have somebody to take care of the pies. She's doing that with Tanya. And there's an anonymous couple who have donated the hot dogs and buns this year, again, so we want to thank them. Following the ceremony, we will proceed out to the TR Memorial to lower the flag to half-staff, and it'll stay there till the end of the day. Then we invite you to walk across the street and enjoy a picnic with us. Help us to celebrate our great country and the friendships that we have with one another here at TR. And now we're going to start the formal presentation. I ask that you would stand if you're able. Veterans, present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. At this time, if you're wearing a hat, if you would remove it, please, for the invocation.
Let us bow in prayer. Great sovereign Father of this free and fair nation, we thank you today for our blessings, for a strong country, and for those who have given everything to sacrifice for the freedoms of our land. Thank you for your bounty of nourishment, grains of the earth, fruit of the vine, and the ability to share with those less fortunate. Today we give thanks for those honored who gave all. Amen. America has honored those that died in the service of this great country since the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. It might even be said that such complete devotion to our fellow countrymen and the cause of freedom was actually present many years prior to this. As evidenced in the participation of colonial militias going back as far as 1620, even before the shot heard round the world at Lexington and Concord on April 19th, 1775. Brave patriots were fighting and giving their lives for their future nation.
25,000 lives were sacrificed between 1775 and the end of the Revolutionary War in 1783.
As our nation grew westward, the need for a protective military force, something short of a full-fledged army, became much more necessary. Hostilities between settlers and the native population were on the rise, as well as the continued problems that we faced with Great Britain. Such issues led to the bloodshed, and many Americans lost their lives defending the freedom we had just won a few years earlier. These issues eventually led to the War of 1812.
Between the Revolutionary War and the close of the War of 1812, about 21,500 Americans gave their lives to preserve our liberty.
With the war concluded, America turned its attention westward, embarking on an era of exploration and expansion. A notable chapter in this journey was led by Captain Lewis and Lieutenant Clark, who charted much of the vast land beyond the Mississippi River. Their efforts paved the way for the nation's manifest destiny. Following the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, a monumental acquisition from France for a mere $15 million, the nation's sights were set on the Pacific. Along the settlers heading west, the cavalry played a crucial role, offering protection through the expansive frontier. However, this growth was not without its challenges. Issues of slavery and states' rights intensified, ultimately leading to the Civil War, a conflict that would mark one of the darkest periods in American history with staggering losses.
The years between the War of 1812 and the end of the Civil War cost America over 640,000 lives.
Years following the Civil War saw an increasable growth of the U.S. population, both from American expansion and from immigrants coming from Europe, fleeing hunger, war, and persecution. Chinese workers were brought in to work the railroad from the west, and European immigrants to work it from the east. This was bound to cause difficulties between settlers and Native Americans. Again, the American military was brought in to keep peace. From conflicts in the West to a war with Spain in 1898, the American military was engaged to fulfill the nation's numerous security demands, and of course, that meant many were called to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Between the Civil War and World War I, the United States lost just over 12,300 lives.
As America continued to assert itself as a global force, efforts were underway to strengthen the Navy and support the rapidly growing industrial economy. One of the era's most ambitious projects was the construction of a canal that would connect the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic, eliminating the need for ships to navigate around South America. Despite the nation's desire to steer clear of European conflicts, it was ultimately drawn into the War to End All Wars on April 6, 1917. The U.S. military faced immense challenges during this time, but through perseverance, managed to break the deadlock of trench warfare, a victory that came at a substantial cost in lives.
With the end of the war on November 11, 1918, the United States saw the loss of 116,516 lives.
No doubt about it, the U.S. was now a world power. The Roaring '20s saw incredible growth of our industry and further expansion of our population from one corner of our nation to another, including our territories of Hawaii and Alaska. However, the belief that we needed a large Army and Navy to protect ourselves did not find universal agreement among the population. Some efforts were made to upgrade equipment and forces during the years leading up to World War II. They proved to be totally inadequate. From the day that will live in infamy until the final signing of surrender on the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay on September the 2nd, 1945, over 16.5 million men and women raised their hands and took the oath to protect and defend our great Constitution and country.
Of the approximate 16.5 million men and women that entered the service between World War I and World War II, 406,200 did not come home.
The U.S. came out of the Second World War the big dog on the street. As an industrial powerhouse and as a supplier of much of the world's food products and the largest, most powerful military force on the planet, this new chapter in the history brought prosperity as well as many growing pains. We all know this history. We have lived it. Its ups and downs, its successes, and its not so great times. We own it. We know firsthand the sacrifices that many of our forefathers and mothers, and even more the sacrifices of our own generation. Our police actions and many wars have taken quite a toll on us, and we have experienced firsthand heartbreak, PTSD, and sorrow at the loss of family members and friends in the military service of our country. Too many flag-draped coffins have found their way back to America from foreign lands. We will never forget what these brave souls did for us and our nation.
Between the Second World War and the present day, nearly 103,000 service men and women have died in the service to their country. It is easy to forget those that died for the United States in 1813 or 1898 or even 1918. We can't and we won't forget our friends who served with us in 1953, 1967, 1991, or 2020, or any time in between. For all our history to be meaningful and relevant, with the sacrifice of our fellow veterans in the forefront, We must keep the memory and sacrifice of all veterans in our hearts and minds, and do our best to help future generations remember. Remember it all, the good, the bad, but most importantly, remember that it takes we the people. At the pointy end of the spear, those that proudly wear one of the uniforms of this great nation, defending our freedoms, which so many of our comrades gave up their last ounce of courage in life. Remember.
We stand. Veterans, present arms.
Please wait as our veterans leave and lead us out to the Veterans Memorial for a short conclusion of our ceremony. We will lower the American flag to half-staff in honor of all who gave up their lives to keep us free.